Good evening, everyone.
Howdy doody.
Welcome to Whatever Wednesday. Whatever. So yes, I didn't get an ad.
I haven't even started yet.
So me and Chris has just been talking. Normally on a Friday, well, like last Friday and supposedly Friday before, Callum had got extra tuition, but he's doing it like sort of an hour here, an hour there, and whatever. So he's actually off Friday, but I've got to go for my B12 injection. So he's just saying, oh, well, in that case, then, once you've had your B12 injection, you could come to the park with me. And I kept saying, I think it's fear of going out because I haven't been out for that long. So
I
know it's going to be like social distance and it's going to be fresh air and, whatever. It's just the fact that I'm so comfortable not going out that it worries me about going out, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm a bit apprehensive about it because it's been that long since I've actually been out. That you're packing a picnic. It's not exactly weather for picnics.
we Yorkshire. We have picnics in -5.
I mean, I might let you go to the cafe if it's open for a takeout coffee, but there's one thing. I mean, I'd just be happy sitting in car watching him. You know what I mean? But he says, "Oh, you can get out of the car and you can sit on bench." And do I really want to? Yeah, maybe I've got a bit complacent about not going out, and now I'm happy not to go out, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's I've got that used to not going out that when I get the chance to, I don't actually want to go out. Sorry. Oh dear. But I'll be all right. You know what I mean? It's just the fact it's fear of the unknown. Let's just say. I mean, it's all right for Chris. He goes out on a regular basis. Well, when I say out on a regular basis, but you know what I mean. It's
to Asda today.
Yeah, but you've been out, haven't you? If you know what I mean. Yeah. I ain't left this house in 12 weeks.
Oh, Everton's beaty weeds.
Oh dear. Oh, pardon me. Chris has just made a coffee.
Oh.
So yeah, I suppose it's got to be done. You know what I mean? I'll probably start having a panic attack or something in car.
Old people. Oh.
Well, you get what I'm saying, don't you? You know what I mean? Because I haven't been out for that long. I'll start, oh, can we go home now? Can we go home now? So yeah, you know what I mean? It's but I suppose there's a lot of a lot of people that are saying that they've not left us for hiya, Imjad.
Aye, aye.
Everyone, there's only me, you, and Chris in.
That's the three.
Yeah. I was just saying, Imjad, Callum's like breaking the extra tuition up over about 2 or 3 days, so he's actually got this Friday off. But I've got my B12 injection, and Chris has just said to me, well, in that case, then you can come to the park with me. And I says, I'm a bit, because I've not left us for 12 weeks. I'm a bit,
your thing's absolutely crap.
A bit apprehensive about it. And I've just said, I says, I'll probably end up having a panic attack because I've not been out. And, here I am, obviously masked and everything. But, you know what I mean? I'll probably have a panic attack thinking, oh, God, but I'm quite happy to stay indoors. You know, I think sort of on other hand, Chris is wanting me to get out and get some fresh air, etc. But I'm just a bit apprehensive about it. You know what I mean?
Becky!
Your ad won't leave me alone. But the thing is, Becky, by watching my ads, it's helping, you know, with the AdSense. Yeah, I get paid for it when people watch the ads. So yeah. So, you know, on other hand, Chris has tried to get me out my comfort zone, you know, by wanting me to go to the park with him. But this is it. I mean, that sort of says a lot, Imjad, for, you know, how far we've come, that you feel or get a sense that Chris is your brother. I mean, I only said to Chris this afternoon after the stream, I sort of feel like me and Chris is your surrogate mother and father, if you know what I mean.
Yes, so you're grounded, Imjad.
Well, the longer you leave the ad running, Becky, the more I get paid. She says I'd kept on 5 minutes. But yeah, you know, hiya, Kate, how are you?
No, Kate.
So yeah, you know what I mean. It's this is sort of the sort of community I want to, you know, I want to get across that, you know, we're not just acquaintances, that we're all friends, we're all family, you know what I mean? Yeah, Kate put hi family, and that's exactly what I was trying to put across, Kate. You know, even though a lot of us aren't met in real life, but that's not for the want to try. And, you know, if it hadn't been for this pandemic, I mean, you know, we probably would have gone to Kate's, and, you know, I mean, we've met up with Tracy and Johnny. We've, you know, obviously best friends with Bella and Baz. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And night, John boy. But exactly, Kate. This is what I was, you know, I'm saying. It's our own little community. And even Bella says to me, you know,
drove for sale, £350 on here in Stopper.
Bella says, basically, she says, you know, I don't want to sort of blow your own trumpet or anything. She says, but without you going live, she says a lot of people would feel lost without you, if that makes sense. And you know, it's Imjad's a puppet, do you know, I'm a bunny, Kate's a bird, and Pixie's you a warthog. Yeah, that's very apt, that one is, Becky, because he was snoring like one last night. But yeah, I mean, they're my sentiments exactly. You know, it's like, in a sense, we all very much alike, if that makes sense, you know. And it's like, with me, as you know, what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Hi, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy. Tracy, oh, Tracy's here.
Yeah, we've just been talking, Tracy, about, you know, we've got a nice little community, and, you know, like, obviously some people we've met, some people we haven't, but it's not for one, you know, we're not have been in this pandemic, we'd have gone to Wales. Chris wants to go to Wales just for, you know, the scenery, and, well, as well as to see Kate and Darren, obviously.
Well, I'm going to fly the Kate's back garden, because I'm allowed.
But yeah, you know what I mean? It really did say this afternoon, I want to go to Ireland, I want to go to Scotland, I want to go to Wales, you know what I mean?
They told me plans for it, don't check videos.
No. but yeah, he's on about getting one of these cheap flights, Kate, and going somewhere foreign when all this is all over, and, you know, like different places. Obviously, he were on about going there and coming back on the same day. You want to see Hazy's man cave? Well, Chris does.
Yeah.
I'm not too fussed, to be honest. But yeah, he's on about sort of get one of these cheap flights, going out and coming back same day, just for the fact of getting some different drone footage. You know what I mean? But obviously, I mean, you can't yet. But it's I mean, going back to the pandemic, basically they were saying on the news, if they'd have closed the, you know, like how they that's it. She says, I can't get in there and I hate climbing the ladders. I can, but it's getting down. Right, you know, me and heights, Kate, if it involves ladders, I'll just watch from a distance.
I'll tell you what, I'll send drone up with me. Have a look.
So, yeah, I mean, this thing about testing people and making them isolate for 2 weeks when they come into the country, in my opinion, this should have been done a long time ago. Then we wouldn't have had this variant from these two different variants from whatever country. You know what I mean? If they'd have done it sooner, you know, it's like, as we say, it's like bolting gate after horses bolted. So I'm sure when we do come and visit Kate, he'll be able to take Chris up there. I mean, he's not scared of heights. It's just me. Yeah, right. Hey, up on his post, some cheeky get had put, well, I'm selling mine for 325. It's cheaper than this one. Yeah. So Chris ended up, he says, well, the cheeky get. He says, I'm removing that comment. 10% of Arkansas has had the virus. Yikes. But you see, this thing about, you know, making people that come into the country self-isolate in a hotel at their own expense for 14 days, it should have been done ages ago. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. Did anybody know about the clap for Sir Tom at 6 p.m. tonight?
No.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
So yes, there was having a clap for Sir Tom tonight at 6 p.m. our time. So yeah, but you know, I mean, you don't always want my opinion, but summer berries, ooh.
It is meow better.
It looked very nice, that did, Imjad.
Yeah, it looked awesome. I liked it black and white.
But my neighbour down the road works in Asda. She came home really ill, did test, was positive. Her husband got symptoms 3 days later. This was 6 days ago. An ambulance was outside there last night. Both got taken. Oh, dear.
Oh, they needed oxygen, so they're still in there.
But it just goes to show you, Kate, how easily and this is what's scaring me about Chris wanting me to sit in park with him on Friday. I am petrified. It's called Meow the wax burner. I said, Alexa, turn on Meow. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's I've got to go for my B12 injection. I was just saying to Chris, Callum ain't got to get up early on Friday because he's doing like staggered an hour here, an hour there and whatever for his extra tutorials. So we ain't got to get up Friday. So Chris and I says, but we've got to get up anyway because I've got my B12 at 9:45. So then he said to me, oh, well, you can come to the park with me. And do I have to? I'll just sit in car, I'll watch you. And he says, no, you can get out of the car, you can come and sit on a bench, you know. And I says, in a sense, it's petrifying me, the thought that I've got to get out. You know, I'd sooner just sit in car and watch him, you know what I mean? So, you know, I suppose in one way he's thinking of me, you know, getting out and get some fresh air. But on the other hand, you know, I'm quite happy to sit at home and not go out. You know what I mean? That suits me fine, you know what I mean? But it's like, same as I says to Chris, I think I've got a bit too complacent and comfy in my own skin, sitting at home and not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's very daunting. You know, and I says to Chris, I says, well, knowing me, I mean, I ain't had a panic attack for a few years now. I says, but knowing me, I says, because I'm so, you know, daunted by it, I probably have a panic attack. You know what I mean? But, you know, I know Chris is only sort of thinking, you know, of me, wanting me to get out and into fresh air. But, you know, it's petrifying to think when you've been stuck in like 12 weeks at a time that, you know, oh God, you know, drone live Friday morning if it's nice weather. Well, you'll have to check out weather then, not you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I tell you something, Kate, as well. Them Mardi Gras lemon squares, they're to die for. Oh, massive, massive hit. I might have to make some more because Callum's had about 3 or 4. I cut them up into squares and yeah. If you get chance, Kate, make it. Simple enough to make. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely gorgeous.
Come on, Liverpool.
What time? Well, you see, I've got my doctors at 10:15, Imjad. It's more or less straight in, jab, straight out again, you know what I mean? So it'll be quite early-ish. Yeah, Tracy says, yeah, they are on. Yeah, I'll tell you the truth now. I'll tell you the truth now. I woke up about 2:30 because we'd gone to bed early, right? I thought, right, I'm going to get out for a wee. I'm going to get back in bed. I'm going to go back to sleep. Or try to go back to sleep. So I get back in bed. Just about to nod off. Or, you know, like when you're in that stage where you're not awake, but you're not asleep either. And then all of a sudden, all I could hear were... I thought, well, that shot that down in flames, hasn't it? You know what I mean? So I thought, well, you know, so much for not going downstairs. So I come downstairs. I thought, I know, I'll cut them squares up while I'm here. Yeah, it was like a warthog, honestly, Kate, because he'd had some whiskey last night, and he's always worse after he's had a whiskey. Now, as a rule, when he lies on his side, he don't snore, but it's when he lays on his back, right? So he must have turned on his back, and yeah, I thought, well, that shot that down in flames. I was just nodding off, and you know, it started anyway. So I come down and I cut them up. I took them out of the fridge and I thought, I know, while I'm doing nothing, I'll cut them up. So I cut them all into squares. I don't know where they get 24 squares from. It must be very minute squares, because I think mine did about 15, I think. Warthog, are you saying you have twins? No, just the one. And he's over there. But yeah, I thought, when I looked at the recipe, it says cuts into 24 squares, and I thought, well, I've only got about 15 after mine. So I don't know. You know, I don't know where they get 24 from. They must be very minute squares because I only got about 15 out of mine. One snores, one eats the lemon squares. Poor Jeanette, bless her heart. I know. Don't you feel sorry for me, Becky? It does. I mean, in his defence, Becky, it only tends to be when he's had some alcohol. But when he got up this morning, he got the hangover from El, and I went, don't look at me for sympathy. It's all self-inflicted.
That was bad this morning. I've been like that in ages.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know how sort of big their squares are, but yeah, I think, but the thing is, it's like, I'd have Chris moaning and I'd have Callum moaning. These is diddy squares, you know what I mean? They like something that they can get the Kate's put whiskey glasses. Yeah, he didn't have quite as many as that, Kate.
Hey, he poured it all in one glass.
Yeah, but he had plenty, let's just say.
Let's just say I had a full bottle, now I've got half a bottle left.
It's like it's like a buttercream Amjad, but like a spreadable one, if you know what I mean. Lol, poor Pixie. Sorry, not sorry. It were McKendrick's, I think it were, Kate.
Yeah.
But it were like a spreadable, you know, you make it were icing sugar, butter, and a tablespoon of double cream. So it were a spreadable consistency. So yeah, but in essence, you know, it is buttercream, but you're replacing. You see, with buttercream, if it's too stiff a consistency, you put milk in. Now with this, you put a tablespoon of double cream. And I says to Chris, I says, just bear in mind that there's only a tablespoon of cream. So if it's too thick a consistency, I might need cream to put a bit more cream in it. I don't like whiskey, Kate. That's the thing. She says you should have a shot of it with honey and lemon to see if it will help you get off to sleep. It's not the getting off to sleep, Kate, that I'm having the problem with. It's staying asleep, if that makes sense. You know, we can go to bed. I can nod straight off, but it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. Just come into double cream one of those nights, is it, lol? But yeah, it's not the getting to sleep that I'm having a problem with. It's staying asleep. You know, I can go like a couple of hours and then I have to get out of bed for a wee. It's just nodding back off when I get back into bed. Yeah, and it's like
love.
He's been in about 5 minutes. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hello, Steve. Oh.
Well, let's talk about chocolate-covered cherry pie. Ooh la la. Funny thing is, though, I have downloaded. I haven't had a chance to print it out yet, but I think it was a chocolate pie or something. It were that I saw and I thought, oh, that looks nice. I think it's a no cook one. I'm not sure. I'll just have a chocolate cream pie. It's called, and it's like a new recipe. Well, a new thing that I found where I get, you know. I like to see like different chocolate cream pie. This simple chocolate cream pie has a decadent chocolate filling, perfect Oreo crust, and a homemade whipped cream top. The perfect anytime dessert. Johnny Tracy's buying you my drone for 350. Or watermelon shots. So it just says prep time 30 minutes. It's Hi Vanessa. It's just basically Oreos and butter melted, and then it's evaporated milk, egg yolks, semi-sweet chocolate chips, which translated is milk chocolate, almond extract, vanilla, and salt. And then it says, for the whipped cream, stabilized whipped cream, you've got to have gelatin for it, but I've got powdered gelatin anyway. Cold water, heavy whipping cream, which in our language is double cream, vanilla extract, or you can use orange or almond extract and a bit of chocolate chips to garnish. Easy peasy. So, that could be something that me and Tracy could do. Where did you okay from, Law? Do you mean where did it was Merlandra's kitchen? It's a new one that I found. So that's chocolate cream pie. Then this one might interest Becky or Vanessa. When it comes up, it's not playing ball. And this is from a site called An Italian in My Kitchen, and it's turtle caramel bars, and basically it's a bit similar to a millionaire shortbread. It says these turtle caramel bars are made with lots of chocolate, a simple caramel filling, and a delicious shortbread base. So in essence, it's a bit like a millionaire shortbread. But this is another one that says cook time 30 minutes. So it's a shortbread base and a topping, really.
Oh, right, it's just scored again.
So so there are a few, and one that I've sort of thought ahead about is one for Easter, because I mean, when all's said and done, is it March, April time, Easter?
Like that, April, I think. No, March.
So anyway, so I've sort of thought ahead, and it's like a meringue, making a meringue nest, and like some of those chocolate egg things. It's like a meringue nest, cream, and then like some of them chocolate mini egg things. Yeah, exactly, Kate. And it's sort of you could tell Chris, I hardly ever plan ahead, but I saw that and I thought, ooh. But it's what it were. I was looking for the donut recipe. I forgot to buy potatoes. I am craving some French fries. Oh dear. But yeah, I went on the Dr. Oetker site to have a look at these vanilla donuts, and I thought, ooh, Easter meringue nest. But when all's said and done, a meringue's very easy to do. But with these, you sort of swirl a bit of colour into them. Yeah, it's same as I said to Chris. I says, in one respect, it's dragged, but like this time last year, we'd not heard of this virus, or we'd heard of it, but thought to ourselves, well, you know what I mean? We'd sort of heard stories that they got this virus in China, but sort of we were, I think, we're all guilty of thinking, oh, well, you know, that's in China. It's got no to do with us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know what I mean? Fried or baked donuts. Yeah, I was looking for a recipe, Becky, a baked donuts. I mean, I'd never go back to fried donuts because I enjoy the baked ones a lot better. But I sort of had this idea coming to my head, and I just needed the basics for a vanilla donut recipe. My thoughts on it were, you know, melt either some white chocolate or both, and do like, you know, dip one in milk chocolate, dip one in white chocolate, and then just put some sprinkles on top. Simple but effective, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so you know, I had this idea pop into my head, you know, just a vanilla based donut, but then sort of put my own sort of thing on it, you know, where I melt a bit of plain chocolate, not plain chocolate, a bit of milk chocolate and a bit of white chocolate, you know, dip, not, you know, and then just sprinkle some sprinkles on top. Well, I found a recipe on Dr. Oaker, and I thought, oh, while I'm there, I'll have a peruse through some recipes. And that's where I came across the Easter meringue nest things. And I thought, well, who don't love a meringue? You know what I mean? They're pretty simple to do. They're pretty simple to make. And all it's a matter of doing is whipping a bit of double cream up, putting it in the middle, and then sticking some, you know, some of these chocolate mini egg things in them. So, but no fried donuts, question mark. No, I've got silicone molds and everything, Vanessa. And I've done several lots of baked donuts. I did do, I mean, way back on, you know, in my vlogs, I did the round donuts and then injected jam into the middle. But also you can make nests with shredded wheat, break up, mix with chocolate. Yeah, either that or like Rice Krispies or all bran or... But I have a goal for the next 2 years as March my journey into joining a weight training competition. Oh, that'll be good, Johnny. It says 2019, 2 years as in March, I started my journey is to join a weight training competition, but be an awesome challenge. I take it seriously. Yeah, but but the thing is, Johnny, it's you're setting yourself a goal, if that makes sense. You're thinking, well, I started this journey 2 years ago, right? Now you've got into your weight training and everything. Now, what else can I challenge myself to do? So it's you've got your mind focused on what your next thing or your next challenge is going to be. You know what I mean? It's called, you know, setting yourself targets. But the thing is, same as you said other night, Johnny, you've learned your limits, or you know when to stop. You know, it's you taking control of it, if you know what I mean. My weight training is pushing my rollator and not falling down. But the thing is, you know, I mean, you know, I take my hat off to Johnny. You know what I mean? Okie dokie then, Kate. She says, be right back, gonna make a cuppa. Don't go. but like it's like 2 years ago, Johnny says, right, I'm fed up with this weight. I'm going to do something about it. And he has done. He set his challenge to do weight training, build his muscles up. You know what I mean? And it's you know, that's another string to his bow. Is he does weight training, he's building his muscles up, etc. So yeah, so you know, you set your sights on something and you go for it. Yeah, my own weight training program wouldn't work for a normal fit person. But there again, Johnny, you know your boundaries. You know how far to push yourself and you know when to stop. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's nobody knows your boundaries, only yourself. It's like, yeah, you know, I'll do. I'm just sort of speaking off top of my head. Right, I'm going to do half an hour of weight training. Now you know that if you push and push and push and try to go a bit further, you know your boundaries.
Oh bloody hell!
So you know. But this is it. It's what works for you, and it same as I've just said, Johnny. I've got to go for my B12 on Friday, and sort of I reminded Chris, and I says, you know, what time's you? I says about 9:45, I think. It's only my B12 injection. So he says to me, he says, right, he says, you could come to the park with me. You could, you know, while I go out flying drone, etc. He says, and you're going out at car and you're sitting on a bench. And I kept saying, no, I'm all right. I'll be all right. You know what I mean? It will like, how can I put it? It's taking me out my comfort zone. You know what I mean? I've been that used to sitting at home and not going out anywhere. And Chris says, oh yeah, you're going out at car and you're sitting on bench and everything. And I, you know, it sort of fills with me with dread.
Will you get off of my chair?
If you're wondering who he's shouting at, it's Lucy. She's a bugger. Right side nervous system is damaged from illness. The right elbow and forearm is mostly tight. Oh dear. But this is the thing, you know, and it's you know, it's all right for Chris to say, yeah, you know, it's all right, Chris saying, you know, you're getting out of the car, you come and sit on bench. But I says to Chris, I says, knowing me, because I haven't been out for that long, I says, I probably have a panic attack, you know, just the fear of, you know what I mean? It's a case of, just let me go at my own pace. Just let me do what I feel comfortable doing. You know, don't sort of say you're going to do this. And I know he's only doing it for my own benefit because I haven't been out to ask.
Right. If this one don't work, you can roll me a fag because your fag machine's crap.
Johnny says, I take so many vits and supplements, I sound like a tube of Smarties. Welcome to the club, Johnny.
Oh, hooray.
But this is the thing, it's like, same as I said to Johnny the other night. You know, I do suffer from depression, and my way of coping with, you know, and getting myself sort of in right frame of mind, I bake. It's my form of therapy, let's just say. You know, Johnny's therapy is doing his weight training and whatever. Each individual has got their own way of coping with what life throws at them.
My therapy is genetic cakes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? We've all got coping strategies in one way or another. I think the US government has me classified as a pharmacy, walking pharmacy. Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, you know what I mean? It's each individual person has their own coping mechanism and coping strategies, you know what I mean? But it's baking, it's keeping me active, it's keeping my mind active. So it's my way of coping, whereas, you know, otherwise I'd sit and stew and I'd sit and feel sorry for myself. But it's you know, baking, as we have said, is an art. So you just don't need your hands, you need your brain as well, if you know what I mean. You need to use your brain to bake. So, you know, it's my coping mechanism, whereas Johnny's coping mechanism is doing his weights. You know what I mean? And, you know, in one way or another, we've all got different coping strategies. You know, you know, people have got their coping strategies where, you know, if you're feeling a bit down, if you're feeling a bit, you know, is to go for a walk, go out into fresh air, get some exercise, etc. I sit here now with hand weights next time if I'm going to sit there train at this. Well, this is it, Johnny. You know what I mean? Chris's coping strategy is to get out and go out with drone and go taking photographs. You know what I mean? That's his coping strategy. But it's different from person to person. You know what I mean? You know, we've all got different ways of coping. So yeah, yes, active doing things. I do cooking and leatherwork and woodworking. But this is it. You know what I mean? That's your coping strategy, Vanessa. You know what I mean? And if it's working, then, you know, good on you. You know what I mean? Why I am developing what is known as sexy arms. Can you have a sexy arm? Oh dear. Are you wakey? How are you? So, you know what I mean?
You can make these on.
But yeah, we're talking coping strategies, Wakey, and you know what we all do, you know, obviously with this pandemic and everything, when we're feeling a bit, you know, a bit down in dumps or feeling sorry for yourself. I bake to keep myself active, to keep my brain active, you know what I mean? Finding out YouTube is much more than cat videos back in 2014 was a blessing. But you see, this is what oh, Tracy walked 5,688 steps today. Got new fit watch. Ooh.
I've had enough. You can do them.
Oh dear.
1 out of 50 papers.
Kidney stones are giving him grief. Oh dear. So yeah, when it's tattooed too, I hot granddad over 6. Oh dear. But it's called the Shift Your Ass Watch. Yeah, well, there's no good getting me one because my ass never shifts anywhere. Oh, found you a possible location.
Oh,
Wakey.
what location's that one, mate? I've not been to it already.
Vanessa says I had to use YouTube to post coursework during my master's degree. Glad I discovered much more than CatTube. But, you know, I mean, I often say, Vanessa, that Kina did 20,000 steps on Monday and 10,000 today. Wow, go Kina.
I think I did about 1 million yesterday.
Nature walk. Chris says he thinks he did about 1 million yesterday.
It feels like it today.
He walked it into town and it must have been like he's not sure whether it's like 1.5 miles or a couple of miles there and a couple of miles back. And he says this morning when he got up, he says, God, he says, back of my legs hurt me as well as his head. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's same as I keep saying. If it weren't for me doing these live streams and me being on YouTube, I wouldn't have no social life. This is my social life, is, you know, being in contact with my friends, you know. He says I did 11,000 Monday, 7,800 today, and painted kitchen. But yeah, you know what I mean? We've all got these coping strategies, you know. Mine is obviously baking, and it's keeping in contact with my friends, you know, and I almost fell down at commissioner's shopping in submarine base. Half the staff ran over to see if I was okay. Glad I was. Good folk there. But yeah, there is some good people. Oh, social distant balls to that. Big cuddles, Jeanette. Thank you very much, Johnny. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's Rosedale Abbey Ironworks.
Oh, Pickering. Yeah, Pickering, that's me.
But yeah, you know what I mean? It's my way of socialising with my friends, you know, and acquaintances, Wakey. I know you're my friend, Wakey, you know what I mean? I'm only joking. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's my way, you know, unlike Messenger, you know what I mean? It's like, it's how we keep in contact with them that we hold dear to us, you know what I mean? Oh dear. Vanessa says, walking my neighbourhood right now looks like you're inside of an undefrosted deep freeze and foot and half of snow everywhere.
Oh, Sunny here. Ours is back done.
Yeah, on
Vanished.
Well, that's it, Johnny. You know what I mean? It says check it out on Google Maps.
All right, mate. Well done.
So, you know what I mean? It's
Rosedale Abbey Ironworks.
There you go. A cush whoop. But this is the thing, you know what I mean? It's put your link in, baby, and coordinate things in chat. But yeah, you know what I mean. You know, it's you're either a cuddler or you're not. You know what I mean? I you know, I like a cuddle, and you know what I mean. I mean, Callum's like 18. He'll be 19 this year. But it always gives us a kiss and a cuddle before he goes to bed. Do you know what I mean? But that's something that is always done. You know what I mean? We've sort of brought him up to show his affection or show his emotions. You know what I mean? And not a lot of people do that. Yeah, I mean, we've, you know, I just said, Johnny, that, you know, had this not have happened, we'd have already gone to Wales, you know what I mean? Because Chris says there's some beautiful locations in Wales where he can fly his drone, you know what I mean? And that's one of the, you know, on top of list to do. I mean, you know, first things first, you know, we want to go and see Baz and Bella and Ian and Sophie, you know what I mean? But that's sort of, you know, I have a caravan park in your drive, Kate Law. But yeah, you know what I mean? As first things first, you know, we want to go see Baz and Bella, because it seems like an eternity since we've seen them. Yeah, we keep in touch, but and we FaceTime and she'd gone to make a cuppa, Johnny, so she might not respond. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it seems like an eternity since we've, you know, actually seen Bella and Baz. You know, we FaceTime each other, we chat, we talk, blah, blah, but it's not the same as like the actual. Yeah, I will fly to the UK on military after the pandemic subsides. This past year has shown me I best get to doing it. But this is it. This is it. They put shit, Kate. Read back. It's all about you. Because after she's gone to make a cuppa. But yeah, it's like the old saying, you know, why put off today, or why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? You know, and that's very poignant in these circumstances. You know, if you can do it, get it done. You know, if that makes sense. Only about 25 minutes from Flying Dales. You could go spy on the spies. Whatever Flying Dales is.
I've never heard of Flying Dales.
But yeah, you know, if you're able to do it today, well, not obviously today, but you know what I mean? Don't put it off and keep saying you're going to do it. You know, if you're able, while your health permits it, get it done. You know what I mean? Damn right, I'm going to do my nightly 80 sit-ups before bed. It will be Pixendales when I get there. You sound like it, make it sound like a what's them, Chippendales, like a strip tease troop or whatever you call them.
Not body for it, Anna.
Yeah, not.
I'll take your first answer.
But yeah, you know, I mean, it's like, how can I put it? I've learned to not take anything at face value. I know, you know, I know who my friends are. I know who's there for me. You know what I mean? And that's why I choose my friends wisely. But I mean, this is Bella, if you're watching. Me, Bella, and my lady Travels had like a FaceTime, and Bella, this is exactly what Bella said. Cold War early warning station. Oh, Bella says, she says, oh, Jeanette, she says, you and I've got some nice friends. She says, how come I only get dickheads, you know, when I can't find like nice friends like you do. And I says, well, my friends is your friends, Bella, you know what I mean? 120 foot golf balls. I'd like to see a golfer whack that one in air. But yeah, you know, when she says, you know, she says you went off. You can pick good people as friends, you know what I mean? She says, you know, I trust wrong people, and I know of several White Alice stations in Arctic that would look neat from the air. Well, there you go.
That's Arctic though, it's not close to Yorkshire.
Yeah, but the thing is, Vanessa, in cold weather situations, I'll let you in on a secret now, you have to keep the battery down your pants to keep it warm. You've got to keep the battery warm. You know, it's no good whacking your battery in and taking it up. If it's cold, you have to keep it down your pants, or in your coat pocket, or in your trouser pocket. You've got to keep it warm.
First time I've
So yeah, that's sort of giving you a little bit of a drone secret away. No sniffing your bats, oh my god. But yes, they must be kept warm at all times.
Well, if I wanted to sell my drone, I shouldn't really be selling those.
Did you hear what he just said? She shouldn't really be telling you that if I'm trying to sell my drone.
We'll have to stick it in washing machine, give them a wash.
They were the radar stations before they became minimally manned stations. Oh, she was stationed in Alaska for 5 years.
You should have got your drone up.
But yeah, that's Vanessa.
I know.
Anyway, so yeah, you know, they don't work well in the cold.
Well, they're all right. You just got to.
Oh, okie dokie then, Imjad. See you later, Imjad. Thanks for popping in.
See you, Imjad.
But yeah, that's one thing. You have to keep your battery warm. So you know, you put wherever you put it under your armpit or wherever. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things. You know, it don't work well in the cold. So yeah, as Chris was saying earlier on, I mean, for them that weren't in his live stream earlier on, I think what I'm going to start doing is going Monday to obviously Tuesday the baking live stream, Wednesday and Thursday, and then having Friday, Saturday and Sunday off, so it makes it like a long weekend, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Going live Thursday night last week was quite a success. So same as I said to Chris, I says, at least if I go 4 days in a row, yeah, you might all get fed up of me. Thinking, oh God, it's not her again. You know what I mean? But yeah, if I go like 4 days, then I can have like a long weekend off. New generation graphene lipos are a little more hardy for the cold. There you go. Longest day of the year is the hottest, usually up by Arctic Circle. We see our anniversary, Vanessa, is the 21st of June. And in the UK, that is the UK's longest day. And it was scorching that day we got married. So, yeah, here in the UK, the longest day is the 21st of June, which was the day we got married. Expensive, though, I bet. So, yeah, so, you know, I mean, he's selling his Mini so we can get the... He says the nearest I get is Arctic roll, just a pound in Tasda. But yeah, you know, I mean, he did say, you know, he has actually put it up for sale. So he can get the Mini too. And some cheeky get. Chris had put like a post in Facebook, you know, all pictures and everything. It's still got the box. It's got its own carry case, prop guards that he's never used, all leads and 3 batteries, etc. And some cheeky get had put underneath, I'm selling mine for $325. So Chris says, well, the cheeky get. And he removed it, obviously. Park Nest. Yeah. Park Nest tried for 50p, but you know.
Try a few more pounds than that.
I got my first moose in 1984, 30 miles south of the Arctic Circle. Wow. Ooh. But yeah, no. I mean, that's not going to get him the Mini 2. So, you know. But yeah, Chris couldn't get over the fact that, you know, on his thing that he was selling his Mini, somebody had actually wrote it, well, I'm selling mine for 325. You know what I mean? Chris says, cheeky git, how dare he? So, well, he didn't put it that politely. I'm just giving you the polite version there. You know, there's no like sort of I put an advertisement up saying I'm selling my drone for somebody to say, well, I undercut you. Oh dear. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
So what type of move?
If it's for the front door, Vanessa, you know, you've shot it.
Strawberry mousse.
Yeah. Or lemon. Oh dear. But yes, Wakey, them Mardi Gras lemon squares that I made last night, absolutely out this world. If you get a chance, Wakey, make them.
You like a Wakes?
Auction it, Pixie, like they do with the houses. Set your minimum and everything else is a bonus.
Yeah, but it's like you do that on eBay. eBay wants a chunk in it.
Yeah. Hiya, Carla. How are you?
Hello, Carla. Carla wants to buy my drone.
Oh dear. But yeah, it's if it don't sell, it don't sell.
Yeah, it's gonna sell.
You know. No, do it on Facebook, it says.
Well, I put 350 on the nearest offer. So somebody bid 600, they can have it.
Ice fishing in Alaska was wonderful. You caught the fish and laid them in the snow. End of trip at kitchen sink. They darn near flopping against you as you clean. Oh. It's all right. Kate, John has been talking to you while you've been gone. He was saying Kate this and Kate that. And I went, hang on a minute, Johnny. I said, she went about 5 minutes ago to make a cuppa. So he says, when she comes back, tell her to scroll back. He says, I've been talking at you. So, yeah. Says 350, I'm in. Goes down to get a cuppa, ends up putting pizza in for Jack and tidying up, lol. Johnny's put you might want to scroll back an hour or so. Yeah, we're on about when this is all over, Kate. He's going to park his caravan in. Oh, that sounds a bit dubious, doesn't it? He's going to park his caravan in your drive, but he wants to use your washing line and your electric. But yeah, I mean, if you want to take that the wrong way, you take it wrong way. But yeah, they in effect, that's what he said, Kate. Vanessa says, could you put one in for her as well, Kate? It might be a bit cold by the time it gets to Connecticut. Oh dear. But yeah, you might want to scroll back a bit, Kate. Where's to that effect, when this is all over, he's coming up to yours with caravan. He wants to park it in your drive, but he wants to use your electric and your washing line. And that's sort of the conversation all rolled into one. I'm reading it. Oh dear. But it was typing away to you, Kate, and I went, hang on, that's as Kate went about 5 minutes ago to make a cuppa. Where the caravan, where's the caravan gonna go? You'll have to get Darren to take your car off at drive, and you know, Johnny will just park caravan on your drive. But yeah, and I says as well, Kate, you know, one of the things, you know, that, you know, first things first, we're going to see in your little drive might stick out a bit. Only stop in a month. I says, yeah. I says, first things first, we're going to see Bella and Baz and Sophie and Ian, because they don't live far from each other. Then next thing is we're going to come and go and see Kate and Darren. Oh dear. Oh dear. You know, it's like, you know, we'd planned all these wonderful things and not got to do any of them. You know what I mean? We were going to go and see Kate and Darren and kids, you know what I mean? But it, you know, it never come to fruition because of this damn thing. You know, but I says, it seems like I haven't seen Bella in an eternity. You know what I mean? You know, we FaceTime, we chat, but it's not the same as actually seeing them in person. You know what I mean? Tracy says we all meet up to be like long lost family. Yeah, I know what you mean, Tracy. But same as I was saying earlier on, you know what I mean? We're so alike. That's why we get on, because we're so, you know, we're so alike. It's like Kate says, you know, she feels like she's known me all her life. You know what I mean? It's because I can't say cut from same cloth, but you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't put any airs and graces on. I just say it how I see it. You know what I mean? Yes, car's all wired up now to tow. I have a trailer too. What you tried to say, Johnny? All your clothes and whatever you need is going to be in trailer. You know what I mean? I thought you were joking when you said you were staying a month. But you know what I mean? You know, I'm only having a. And so where's the car gonna go? It probably had to leave it, you know, about 3 streets away, Kate. Oh, but you know what I mean? I mean, no, because trailer doesn't have a bottom in it at the moment. It's a project. Oh, we better get your finger out then, Johnny. What's the point of saying you've got a trailer when you've only got half of one? You can't class it as a trailer if it's got no bottom to it. You know me, I find anything funny. But yeah, you can't say you've got a trailer when you've only got half of one. Oh dear. But yeah, you know what I mean? Ah. Identical to ours, but small. So here's the thing, Johnny. If she's not behaving, do you tow her, you know, a few streets away or in next county if she's not behaving? So when she wakes up in the morning, she'll say, where the heck am I? No, you know, I'm only joking. I know you wouldn't do that. But yeah, you know, if she's being naughty, do you tow her a few streets away and leave her there overnight? Do you know what? There is a neighbour in flats. We all think it's him, but he will knock people's doors and moan if cars are over. Oh yeah, there's a few like that round here, Kate. You know, it's like well, I'm not tell you what we call him, but he don't even live in our row. Now, our car park is for this like 5 houses in a row, right? So our car park, there is exactly 5 spaces, right? But this guy that lives down here, basically he insists on parking in the very end one so women and missus ain't got to walk far. Now Johnny and Tracy know that I can't walk far, yet he's taking that space away from me, and he don't even live in this row. Now, you know, I couldn't repeat what we call him, but he thinks he's the resident police because Brian and Mary you see, when we used to go shopping, instead of getting it delivered, Chris used to pull in front of our house and open the boot so we hadn't got all that far to bring shopping. And sort of Brian and Mary that live next door, he says, well, don't let him across there see you, because he moans when people pull the cars on grass. And Chris says, super glue it well, yeah. You know, don't let him, he did say his name, but I can't, we call him somewhat rude, but anyway, he says, don't let him see you because he'll report you to council or whatever for parking your car on grass. And Chris says, well, sod him. He says, I'm doing what's best for me. He says, never mind what he thinks down here. He don't even live in this row, yet he takes a parking space away from us just so it's easier or closer for him to walk to his house. You know, but, you know, he thinks he's so high and mighty, you know, and same as Chris says, you know, you look at him, well, it starts with T, W-A-T-T-Y, and then what as a man has in between his legs. Chris is laughing in there. Anyway, you know, and Chris and Brian have had this conversation many a time, and he'll you know, if you say out to him about, you know, well, you're not even supposed to park here. Well, my wife's disabled. And Brian says to me one day, he says, well, Chris's wife's more, you know, if she's disabled, then I'm disabled and all. He says, Chris's wife, Jeanette, is 10 times more disabled than what she is, yet you're taking that space away from them. But this is the thing, Johnny, this fella, I mean, he's a pensioner, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? But he reckons his wife's disabled, but she can walk faster than he can. And
he don't say out to me because he knows I used to work for places for people. I've got friends in high places.
Yeah, and the reason why Sutton never reported Chris is Chris used to work for the company that he rents his ass off. And he knows that if he sets a foot wrong with Chris, he'll go back to, you know, get onto the council and get a marked bait. Well, I even talked to Ivy about it, because this is how devious he is, Bakey. Many years ago, right?
Before we moved in.
Yeah, before we moved in here. I mean, we've been here 5 years, so we're going back. He come round with this clipboard thing, and he wanted people's signature on it so we could get that exact. Just put it on the table, Callum.
We're on about that person.
That, yeah, but you can't say what we call him.
Anyway, I think Liverpool's lost to Brighton 1-0. Oh dear.
Well, anyway, so I told you he parks in this very, closest to our house spot. Now, there's only 5 bays. Now, bearing in mind one of them bays isn't his. So anyway, he come knocking on everybody's door. This was before we moved in. So he come round with his clipboard, And they were wanting people to sign it so we could have that bay marked out by the council as a disabled bay for him, right? Or her, whichever the case may be. Anyway, so Ivy next door, she can't stand him anyway. So she refused to sign it, right? Well, it got to get everybody's signature to say that they gave him permission to have this bay, but she were having none of it. So anyway, she goes on holiday, and the crafty so-and-so, while she was on holiday, had that bay marked out by the council as his parking bay, right? So anyway, she got a message. I mean, the lady that we're talking about, not next door, but one, she's dead now, she died. She rang Ivy and she says, you're never going to guess what. She says, I forget what his name is. I'm that interested. I can't remember his name. She says, you'll never guess what so-and-so's done. Is that council come out and mark that bay as a disabled bay while you've gone on holiday. It must have waited for us to go on holiday, got on blower tick council and says, you're right, you can come and do it now. So anyway, she comes back, she gets on to, you know, because she can't stand him anyway. She gets on to council. She says, he's no right having that marked out as his parking bay because you don't even actually live in this row. Them parking bays is for this row, and they don't actually live. And that woman or bloke on blower says, oh, really? So next day, right, this is the good one. Next day, the council came out and were burning these markings off. And Ivy stood at front door like with arms folded, and she's laughing. And he comes storming out and he says to council, he says, oi, what do you think you're doing? Well, we've been informed this, that and the other. And Ivy says, yeah, well, that's what you get if you go behind me back. She says, it were me. She says, I'll tell you. She says, it were me that run council. So, yeah. So basically, she'd run council back up, told them that he didn't actually even live in row, and they came and burnt it all off. And she stood on door gloating at this fella when he come out telling these council blokes off. She says, well, she says, I've never felt so... You could come down with Jeanette and Pixies. But yeah, she had the whale of a time that day. You know, the fact that she can't stand him, the fact that she stood there gloating, and she even said to him, well, you know, I'm not going to beat about bush. Yeah, it were me that rung him up. So yeah, you know, and we absolutely peed his pants when we heard that story. That'd be like wacky racers. Well, you see, if Johnny knows where he's coming, I mean, it'd be boom straight there, you know what I mean? He could come down and, well, not pick us up, but you know what I mean? Or we could go up to Leeds and then follow him to yours, Kate. But yeah, oh dear. And I says to Ivy, I says, God, I wish we'd have lived here sooner. I says, and I'd have stood howling on doorstep. You know what my sense of humour's like. I'd have absolutely howled at him. Oh dear. You know, and basically she stood on doorstep. She says, you're not so high and mighty now, are you? But yeah, I couldn't stop laughing when she told us that story. Yeah. You're not so high and mighty now.
And now they try and get that parking space as much as possible.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, Kate. Johnny says, I remember hills and castles and a loft. Oh dear. Do you think Johnny and Chris and Hazy will all fit up into loft? But yeah, I mean, like, same as Chris says, you living in Wales, Kate, you'll know all best places where Chris can go and fly his drone. And I know Darren's got a drone, so they could go out together.
That's for not damage.
Oh dear, but yeah. Oh. But yeah, that was best story she'd ever told me. I can go up there now without creaking. Keen is still awake, never stops eating. But you see, the thing is as well, Kate, Bella and Baz were on about coming with us. So, I mean, it'd be like a busman's holiday, you know, all us lot. You know, me, Chris and Callum and Bella and Baz stopping in hotel and, you know, got the council to put a solid white line across Marn Pass Drive. Thought he was being clever, leaving his car across while he went to the cafe. But same as I said to Chris, knowing how smug this guy is, you know, when they mark it out a disabled bay and it'll say number 8 on it, because that's our house number. It's probably still parked there, and you know, you go knocking on his door and say, well, don't you realise that's our parking spot and it's designated specifically for Jeanette? Hiya, Paul. How are you?
Hello, Paul.
And you know, he's sort of that iron mighty that he thinks is beyond the law. And same as Chris says, all we'd have to do is say, well, council's come out and mark that as a designated, you know, disabled bay for Jeanette. By you parking there, all I've got to do is ring council up and they'll come and tow your car away.
And then he'll say, let him try it, and he come and tries it.
You know, same as Chris says, he probably thinks we all like smoke and mirrors and don't do what we say we're going to do. But God damn it, we will even if it, you know, the premiere is 2 minutes away. Yeah, if you remember, Kate, I looked it up and it is like literally 2 minutes away from your house. But Kate, you know, Bella wants to do it as well. So obviously, you know, when this is all over and Bella's in better health, you know, yeah, we're going to go for it and we're going to party like we've never partied before. Oh dear.
We'll have a celebration with this as well.
Well, I mean, my exact words to him was, once this is all over and we go up to Bella and Baz's and go and see Ian and Sophie, I says, you know, we're going to have one hell of a pee-up. You know, we're all going to get blottoed and pie-eyed and, oh, bless you, Kate. But you see, she says, I wish I had the spare bedrooms for you all. You know what I mean? You live in a house, you're not running a hotel, Kate. But it's like us, we've got a spare bedroom, but it's only got a single bed in it. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's only suitable for a single person. You know, it's got like exercise bike in it. Yeah, too right. Yeah, that's what I've said, Paul. We're going to have one almighty pee-up. I feel bad that you have to stay in a hotel or sleep on a blow-up bed. But, you know, we've had worse situations, Kate. You know what I mean? It's like a meet-up / holiday. You know what I mean?
I had to sleep up floor.
Yeah. Callum says he's used to it because he's had to sleep on floor before. But you know what I mean? It's you know, we've had worse. You know what I mean? We were stuck in New Quay in a tin can while it was thundering and lightning. You know, how worse could it get? You know what I mean? I didn't sleep a wink that night.
Imagine a tsunami or
yeah, but you can't remember because you were only young then. But oh God. Chris kept saying,
when you were young.
Chris, your dad kept saying to me, go to sleep, woman. He says, lightning's not going to strike. I says, yeah, but we're in a tin can. You know, we're in a caravan and I'm sort of having visions of, you know, lightning striking and blowing all sides off the caravan.
Is that what someone said?
No, that's what your mum said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Say, Mum.
When Tracy and Johnny stayed, we had a big blow-up bed. Keena slept on the corner settee with
Say,
duvet.
The first time I started remembering was at Borough Castle.
Oh, but yeah. But the thing is, Kate, I mean, let's say, for instance, we've got like 3 sofas. So if anybody were to stay over, you know, they've got 3 sofas to choose from, and we've got like a big through room. So yeah, let's say, you know, you, Darren, Jack, and Harry came. We've got 3 sofas. We've got a spare single bed upstairs. So that won't be a problem so long as you didn't mind sleeping on sofas, you know what I mean? But our house, it's the same with it being a through room. We've got 2 radiators in here because we've got one behind where Callum's sitting there under window, and then halfway across the room there's another radiator, and it's like same as Chris says, it's all or nothing. You turn heating off because it gets too hot, and then it soon goes cold. So you have to put out, you know, you have to put heating on. And a lot of the time, that's why I get a cough, is because we have to have heating on, and it dries my throat out.
Yeah, but people's going to think otherwise, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, people, you know, people that know me, Callum, how can I put it, don't know my situation. The fact that I have a CPAP machine, and that dries my throat out as well. So it's like dry air, isn't it, when you, you know, when you
get like slather as well when you sleep. So that probably also good as well.
Well, tell everybody why don't you, Callum, that I drool in my sleep.
Well, I think everybody drools in their sleep. Everybody drools.
I'm only pulling your leg, you fart. But yeah. Let's say, for instance, you, Darren, and kids came up to us. We could accommodate you, but you'd all have to sleep on separate sofas, and or once.
No. Wait.
What?
That's a recliner.
Yeah, two at sofas have got recliners in them.
Oh God, I hope kids don't come in here.
I don't have heating in bedrooms. You see, we've got heating in bedrooms, but we have to turn it off, Kate, because obviously heat rises and it gets awfully hot in here.
Especially in my room.
Yeah, and Callum, like, let's say, for instance, Callum's on his Xbox.
I get really sweaty.
Yeah, he has to open his window because it does get hot in his bedroom. It's
hot as summer. That's how it feels.
Yeah, so a lot of time when he goes up and turn rads off. Yeah, we have to turn ours off, Kate. Otherwise, it'd be like an oven in our bedroom.
It'd be like summer.
And neither of us would get any sleep.
It'd be like summer.
So you know, so I mean, it's been off sort of since this afternoon, and let's say, you know, we have it a bit on a bit in afternoon or whatever. We always make sure that probably a couple of hours before we go to bed, we make sure the heating's off, because that way, you know, it's cool when we go to bed. Right, I've got a question for everybody, right? And I don't know whether it's just me or not.
Dangerous.
I know. It is dangerous when I think, Callum. You know, when you get out of bed at night to go for a pee, does anybody else, when they get back in bed, turn the pillow over so you've got a nice cool pillow when you get back in bed?
No, it's just you.
Well, no, you don't do it because you never leaves pillow.
I don't go for a wager in dreamland.
But yeah, I mean, it was like last night. I got out for a wee, and first thing I did was, before I got back in bed, and yeah, so you've got cold. You turn it over, so you're putting your head on a cool pillow. I didn't know whether it was just me or not. But I do it every time. Tracy does it, and I think Kate means she does it as well. No, that's just plain weird. I tried to say, Wakey, I'm weird, but yeah. Let's say I get out of bed to go to bathroom. first things first, as soon as I get back in bed, before I put me, you know, my Darth Vader mask on and everything, I turn my pillow over so I've got cool side. But it's like, if I get out again a few hours later, I do it again. So I've always got like my head on a cool pillow. See what Wakey says, only reason to turn the pillow over is to hide the drool. Cheers, Callum. Because you said I drool. Well, he drools as well, so
Everybody
you know.
drools.
Callum turned eating off as well. Don't forget to fill Lucy's water up as well.
But
Everybody drools. I drool.
yeah. See, you heard that, Wakey. Callum says he drools as well. So there you go. I'm not on my own.
Even when I'm awake, I'm drooling.
But the thing is, with this CPAP mask, you have to breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. So I have to keep the gob shut. And don't quip in where about it's longest time you've ever kept your gob shut in your life. You know what I mean? I know what's coming. But unless you've got one of these CPAP machines, you don't know what I'm talking about. But because it's like a nasal mask, you have to talk. You have to breathe through your in and out through your nose. Would I? Yes, you would. So yes, you have to breathe in and out through your nose and keep your mouth shut. So hence the reason why I drool. I mean, Callum ain't got no excuse. He don't have a CPAP machine. But that's another reason why my throat gets dry, because it blows the air up your nose and down your throat. It weren't me. Well, I know you. I've got to know you well now, Wakey, and I know that you're bound to.
Speaking of bedtime,
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
You say it's probably the longest you've ever kept your mouth shut.
Normal.
7. He's at it all day tomorrow, aren't you?
Last day. One that I ate and all.
I know your dad was saying earlier on it, sir, that you don't like. Well, at least you've got Friday off this week.
She takes that bloody 20 times to explain.
You're off Friday, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said it's my last day.
I'm not that cynical. I beg to differ, Wakey. I thought, well, I'll put it out there. If you don't say it, Chris will probably say it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I've explained to you how it works. You see, Baz has got one of these damn lol. Baz has got a full face mask. But you see, when mine is just like what they call a nasal mask. So I'm only half a Darth Vader. I do it, and I got to get into a cold bed. Well, you see, that's what Chris does as well, Kate. When we're getting ready for bed, Chris goes up and he pulls the duvet right back, so it's nice and cool in bed when we get in it. So, but yeah, only somebody that's got a CPAP machine knows what I'm talking about. Oh, it's like I wake up, Kate, my knees hurting me, so I stick my leg out of bed. Then this shoulder hurts me. So only way I could, it's like, when sorry for the delay, my dog was barking. It's like I wake, even though I don't lie on this shoulder, I lay on this side, I lay on my left side. I wake up and I've got like, I don't know whether it's me, like when your elbow comes out of joint and when you flex it, it cracks. Nah, it's this shoulder. So I had to put my arm out of bed and like stick it up in air, like I'm saying, please, sir. You know what I mean? And it seems to click it back in, if you know what I mean. And I'm good to go again. But sleeping on side up. But you see, the funny thing is, Kate, all my problems. I bet you think you've wet bed, don't you, Wakey, when she rubs a cold nose on your foot? I lay on that side, and all my problems as regards, like, it's my left hand that swells up. Just put it over there. It's my left leg and my left foot that all swell up.
Good morning. Good morning. Bye. Bye.
I can't sleep on my back either, Kate, because of problems I've got with my back. So, you know, it's same as I says to Chris the other day. You know, I says, I'm glad I've got one good hand at pay, so it picks it with your right hand. Well, I kept nudging him last night, Wakey, but it didn't make any odds. He'd stopped snoring for about 20 seconds, and then he starts snoring again, and I got fed up and keep poking him, and he only does it when he's lay on his back and when he's had some, you know, alcohol. So, you know, but it's everything, and that's where I get the sciatica, is in my left side. You know, it's here in my left side of my back. It's all down like me left hip and down back of my leg. Yeah. Oh, I do. And then you put your head on your pillow, Kate, and you go, oh, because it's nice and fresh. But yeah, it's like, I says to Chris, I says, sometimes I get that irritated with it. I feel like shoving him out of bed, but it wouldn't be fair on Chris. You know what I mean? Because he gets up with Callum and leaves me to have a lie-in. You know what I mean? So I sort of just nudge him gently, and I tell you, this is a thing. He snores that loud sometimes. He wakes himself up, let alone me. You know, and when you nudge him, he does stop snoring, but about 20 seconds later, is you know, back in fine voice again.
Wakey's after you beating me up, man. He's already whacked me once, Wakey. That was before I was snoring loud.
But yeah, you know what I mean? I just give him a gentle nudge, and it seems to stop it for about 20 seconds, and then he, you know, it goes back to, you know, snoring. And after a while, you get fed up and keep nudging him. So I think, oh, sod it, I'll go downstairs. So at least there's one thing, you know, like with Chris, it can sleep very soundly, whereas I can't. You know, I'm a very light sleeper, and he's got to get up with Callum. Well, don't have to, but he likes to get up and, you know, he gets up with Callum, so I don't like to disturb him too much. I think it's easier for me to come downstairs, you know, and sort things out, you know, like me YouTube channel, and, you know, I do my thumbnails and all this doodah, you know what I mean? Like, I will prod him with this. Let's have a look what it is. This should be interesting. I bet it's one of them cattle prods.
I'm reporting.
Electric
shock. Electric stop prod.
Oh, Brenda's asked me if I want to do a collaboration.
Ooh.
Doing a collaboration. Got to Lost February. If you're interested, please let me know. But yeah, if nobody's aware, I did a collaboration with Brenda last year and Dolores, so I had to film two Valentine's films. You know, it were hard work, but you know, I love doing these collaborations because it, you know, I like getting asked. You know what I mean? Well, I can prod it there if you want me to.
You, not I am.
No, I mean up yours. But you know, it says it all. When we lived in Great Yarmouth, him and Callum both slept through an earthquake. So that's how soundly them two sleep. Proddy's God. Yeah. So yeah, he, you know, I'm waking up and buildings like wavering from side to side, and I'm thinking, what the hell? And they didn't know nothing about it till next morning. This were about 2 o'clock in the morning. It woke me up.
There's not buffering here, Kate. There's a fan here.
So yeah, them two slept through an earthquake. Bearing in mind it weren't very high on Richter scale, but that's just kinky Kate. So, but yeah, I might, because I'm doing these brownie, chocolate brownie cupcakes, and you've got to make your own decorations. I might have a go at that tomorrow. You know, just a trial run. Because the thing is, I buy chocolate with my shopping, and Callum keeps saying, "Are you using that chocolate? Are you using that chocolate?" I said to him, "Yes, I am." Yeah, so we like the cold side, Jeanette and Tracy. Yeah. It must be a woman thing, Kate. You know what I mean? It must be a foible of a woman.
What day is it? Wednesday?
Yeah, all day. Well, it isn't, you know.
Till midnight.
Till midnight.
Gotta take lottery what we're not won.
But, oh, God. But, yeah, I've got like a thing in back of one of me. Well, it's one his mum bought me, but it's got like all templates. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, so there's the arts. So what I might do tomorrow is you have to cut some greaseproof paper, trace round it, and then actually do it in white chocolate coloured with red things. So I might have a try at them tomorrow. Had a minor panic yesterday, did a ribeye and couldn't find the beetroot. Was at the back of the fridge, so disaster averted. We've still got some from Christmas, haven't we?
Yeah, and some pickled onions.
So yeah, it shows how often we eat beetroot. We only buy it at Christmas. So yeah, so that I'm going to have a go at that tomorrow. I'm going to do the tracing, and I'm going to, you know, melt some white chocolate, colour it and everything. And I'm going to have a go at doing the decorations. I mean, good thing about it is, with it being white chocolate, it'll keep till Tuesday. One time years ago in our old house, we had a mini one, and it took my house, and I was in bed. It was like my house was haunted. I run out the bedroom. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, it woke me up, Tracy. And literally, you could feel it like swaying. You know what I mean? The earthquake, it weren't high on the Richter scale, but it was high enough that, you know, it made the building wobble. But it woke me up being a light sleeper. Now, I says to Chris next morning, I says, "Did you feel building moving last night?" And he went, "No." I says, "Because you see, when we sort of got up for Callum for school next day, put news on, and it says Great Yarmouth suffered a minor earthquake or a mini earthquake at such and such on Richter scale." And I went, "See, I told you I weren't lying." I says, "That were why building were swaying from side to side." It went, "I never heard a thing." And I said same to Callum when he got locked. Did you feel? He went, "No." So yeah, so they're cut from same cloth. You know, they can sleep through anything. So yeah, we only buy beetroot and pickled onions at Christmas, Kate, and we've still got some left. But did you feel it, Tracy, by you? But this is the thing, you know what I mean? Unless you sort of got visible proof of it, you know, they were laughing at me, thinking, you know, no, it's about 4.5 hours away. It's like same distance from here as it is to you. But you know, we lived there 7 years, Kate, and the only reason why we came back this way is my mum's health started to deteriorate, and it were like after, you know, this thing with my stepdad, you know, passing away and everything. No, it's not in Yorkshire. It's classed as Norfolk, and it's like on East Coast. We're sort of slap bang in middle, but Great Yarmouth and Norfolk is on East Coast. So yeah. So basically, after my stepdad passed away, my mum lived in Skegness at the time, and she were all by herself, and she decided she were moving back to the village where, you know, I were brought up in. And basically, you know, I'd get phone call and you know, this has happened, that's happened, and you know, we're being on herself. Same as I says to Chris, if anything does happen to her, it means we can't get to her for about 4.5 hours. Oh no, not we're in Great Yarmouth when it happened. So yeah, so in 2012 we made the decision to come back this way. So oh, and Tracy says hers were about 10 years ago. But yeah, you know, we made the conscious decision. My fault, I've missed parts of this. But yeah, we made the conscious decision to come back this way in 2012 solely so my mum had got somebody, or if she were to call us, we could get there in less than 4.5 hours. I think you need to refresh, Kate. It's not buffering at all.
No.
What Chris did other day, he just refreshed it. So yeah. So we've sort of been back this way since nearly 10 years, haven't we? Nearly.
Yeah.
Next year. So yeah. And it was only for that reason that we came back this way. You know, I mean, when she phoned me and said that, you know, everybody's got to get to a certain hospital in, you know, in Lincoln, it took us 4.5 hours to get there. You know, my mum says, well, don't worry about it. She says, we're not going to turn any machines off or anything till everybody gets here. So, you know, but then, you know, we come to realization, yes, she's on her own now. And if she should have any health worries or health scares, then it's going to take us 4.5 hours to get to her. So, you know, it were a nice place. It were a nice place to live, like a seaside town, you know. If Johnny's watching, he'll tell you it. Just saying it happened in parts of the country. Well, I'm wondering if it was the same thing that we had in Great Yarmouth, Tracy, because that might be. I can't remember when it exactly happened, but it weren't a very strong earthquake, but it was classed as a mini earthquake. So yeah, so we decided to make the conscious move and come back this way solely for that reason. You know, so we could be there for her, and you know, if needs be, get to her a lot quicker, etc., etc. So but then where she lived at the time, we only lived about 2 or 3 streets away, and she was around every 5 minutes. Broke the door sill above the back door. Oh dear. I'm sure Mr. Fix-It-All. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's you know, we made the mistake of only moving about 3 streets away, and she were around every single day, sometimes more than once a day. Yeah, I can't blame her because she was lonely. But there's, you know, interfering, you know what I mean? You know, if I were you, I'd do this. If I were you, I'd do that. You know what I mean? You know, there's one thing having your mum close, and then there's one thing having her too close. But it's not only that. She'd come in and she'd go to the fridge to see what you got in your fridge.
Type it that.
You know what I mean? She were a bit too interfering. Yeah, she'd only got as interested art, bless her. But you know what I mean? This, you can so easily see where you can have conflict. You know what I mean? And then in I think it was 2014, we moved this way, and I dreaded telling her. So yeah, so you know, I dreaded telling her. I says, you know, it's not you, it's just the fact that we want to get his name on council list. Sheffield Council have accepted us, and they've offered us a place. You know what I mean? No, because you see, the landlord that we're with at the time, he wanted the dosh, but he didn't want to do any repairs. You know what I mean? That was the only downside of that place where we lived. He wanted his rent money, but he weren't willing to do any repairs. So yeah, so we made another decision to, you know, move this way, which is, it were only about 40 minutes away from my mum. And same as Chris says, if I put my foot down, we could make it in half an hour. Was you privately? Yeah, we were privately renting. But yeah, you know, it's same as Chris says, we're not that close as, you know, she can come interfering, but we're close enough to get to her in a case of an emergency. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean? And we still used to have her over once every 4 weeks for a Sunday dinner. Chris used to fetch her, bring her back, take her back, and come. So he'd like make that trip 4 times just so she could come and have a Sunday lunch with us. You know, and it fetch her, bring her back, take her back, and come back. You know, it were a case of, you know, this close and this too close. You know what I mean? I loved her dearly. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like having, you know, somebody watching you all the time. You know what I mean? And I says, Mum, because at the time I were about 50, and I says, Mum, I says, I'm 50 years old. I said, I've had 4 kids. I says, I should know what I'm doing by now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It were like, yeah. And there were the Butlin saga as well. I have, in all the years I have known Chris, I have never, ever seen him lose his rag like he did that day with my mum. Oh my God. And I've never seen it since. And he says to my mum, he says, right, he says, that's it. He says, you're never coming on holiday with us again. You know, she liked to put a 2 pennies worth in, let's just say. And Chris says, for God's sake, Joyce, she says, we're on holiday. You know what I mean? And he said F word to her as well. And he stormed out, and I've never ever seen him lose his temper like that. Yeah, he did blow a gasket that day. Well, Warwick were, Kate, we went to Butlins and we took my mum with us. Nah, we were in like where you pay for your, you know, we had his meals included. Even though we're in like a self-catering chalet, you can pay to have your meals. So anyway, Jamie, how are you?
Oh, no,
So anyway, this particular evening, Callum had said, it's one way, you know, you go and walk around all these things and help yourself. So Callum had got a hot dog and some chips, and it were a massive hot dog. It were like that, the bun, with a massive sausage in the middle. So we couldn't eat it all. So Callum gets up to go and get a dessert. So my mum says, where do you think you're going, Callum? He says, I'm going to get some ice cream. She says, well, she said, when your mum were little, she says, if she didn't eat a dinner, she didn't get no dessert. So, of course, Chris blew a gasket and he says, for God's sake, Joyce, he says, did you see the size of that hot dog that he's just eaten? And we're on holiday. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, anyway, at that, he just stood up. His chair went flying. He said F word to her when he says, you know, we're on holiday and blah, blah, blah. And he says, basically, last time I looked, Joyce, because her name was Joyce, last time I looked, Joyce, it were our son, not yours. I'm only saying, you know, if when Jeanette, and she says, yeah, but Jeanette's not a kid anymore. She's 50 years old. You know what I mean? And how we bring up Callum is none of your concern. And with that, he just stormed out. And anyway, he went outside. He had a ciggy to calm down. And that's when he come in and he said, Joyce, he says, you're never coming on holiday with us again. He says, this happens every time. You know what I mean? She says something and we fall out. But then 2 minutes later, she you know, that weren't first time we fell out that holiday, by the way.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then they were free because Callum went to the fridge and door were open.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it were into level ground. And I think it'd like come open automatically on itself. And she were more or less saying that Callum were calling her a liar. And he says, well, when I went to the fridge, door were open. So she sort of put 2 and 2 and got 5 and said that our Callum was trying to call her a liar. So we were going swimming anyway. So we just got us towels, as cozzies on and went swimming. And like 10 minutes into swim, we looked up and she's there up on balcony as if, you know, no had happened. She'd never say sorry. She'd never say sorry. That's one thing. She'd never say sorry. She'd like just act like nothing had happened and everything were hunky-dory. But apart from that, we got on fine. It was just...
Oh, man, that's how we're all getting sweets in Asbury.
Oh, yeah. That was when first time we took her to Yarmouth as well. It's all right, we went to Yarmouth this particular year with my mum. And we were in a self-catering chalet. So we went to Asda to get some like shopping stuff. So we bought, my mum had picked it, she'd got her own little shopping trolley, basket, sorry, to get some stuff for herself. So we were walking round and Chris says, oh, I fancy some sweets. So I says, oh, I'll have some while you're there. So we'd all got sweets and Callum says, oh, I think I'll have these. And you know, and she went, oh, you two, you're a soft touch, you pair are, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I just says to her, I says, look, I says, we can't all have sweets. I says, and Callum not have any. I says, that's just being cruel. You know what I mean? So basically, I says to her, I says, you know, when we get back to chalet, I says, we're packing our things. I says, and we're going home. I says, however you make your way home is your, you know, your thing. So basically I'd said to her, that's it, I'm done. You know what I mean? It's every time we come on holiday. You should have gone to Butlins and dropped her off at Pontins. But yeah, you know, I'd just about had enough, and that time I blew my gasket. I says, look, I says, I'm fed up of this. I says, every time you come away, mother, I says, you've got to nitpick. I says, it's not as if we're asking you to buy him his sweets. You know, I says, so when we get back, I says, we're packing his things. I says, and we're going home. I says, I'm not throwing up with this all holiday. So basically we stormed out. So we went through Cash Art, and she were not far behind us. So we sat in car, just come and got in car like nothing had happened, and we're like making small talk. You know what I mean? She never, this is one thing, that the only fault that she got, she knew she was in the wrong, but she'd never say sorry. You know what I mean? She'd never say, oh, I'm sorry, I overstepped the mark, blah, blah, blah. Because her thing was, she was always right. If that makes sense. She thought what she was saying and doing were always right. She never apologized for anything that she'd said. But don't get me wrong, I'm not slating her. I loved her with all my heart. You know what I mean? It was just these little nitpicky flaws that she'd got. You know what I mean? And then that's why we moved back here. It just basically to put a little bit of distance between us. You know what I mean? You know, she weren't under his feet or, you know, round every 5 minutes. I know, it's just gone 11 o'clock, wakey. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's sort of having a close, but not close enough that, you know, I could relax and do what I want to do, etc. You know what I mean? It's, you know, and she was generous to a fault. She'd get it shirt off her back. I mean, my washing machine broke down, and I didn't ask her to lend us money. But, she, you know, I always used to ring her twice a day, about 11 o'clock in the morning, about 7 o'clock at night. And this particular day, I'd rung up and I said, oh, that's all I need. I says, my bloody washing machine's packed up now. Time for a chip butty. But you see, and without hesitating, she says, well, I'll lend you money. She says, you know, have a look for a new washing machine. As soon as you find one, tell me how much it is and I'll put your money in your bank. You know what I mean? She was generous to a fault, but she just got these little flaws, you know, interfering and thinking she knows best. So on that note, and don't get me wrong, by no means am I slating her. I loved her, you know, I loved her to bits. I love her to this day with all my heart, you know what I mean? It was just like, you know, certain things aggravated us, you know what I mean? We've all got flaws, you know what I mean? We've all got as flaws, you know, and I'm, you know, not saying by any chalk of the matter that I ain't got my flaws, but, you know, when I'm wrong, I say I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Right, I'm going to get going, guys. I'll see you all probably tomorrow evening. Thank you for joining me, and sorry for me ranting and raving and waffling on. And she was your mum, and it's good to talk about it on that. That's it, you know what I mean? I'll speak to you all tomorrow. I'm going live again tomorrow evening, so I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Cake's put tomorrow. Yeah, I'm deciding I'm going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and having Friday, Saturday and Sunday off. I'll message you about it anyway.